So, hello, folks. I have been scarce, and I am planning a notes from home to explain that. If you've been following me on Facebook, you probably have a pretty good idea. We're gonna talk about it in a notes from home, but the quick notes are that my husband was ill. He had to go to the hospital, and so my space, so to speak, my mental space, my plate, whatever you want to call it, was full. And I honestly wasn't doing very well doing the things at the time, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's the quick of it. He's home, he's doing better, and so I'm kind of back in business, trying to get things put together, starting to do my art again. I didn't even art at all while he was in the hospital, and um, yeah, I really wasn't. I was barely managing to do my housework. It was pretty hard for me. Obviously, it was harder for him, but anyway, he's home now, and we are. I am. We are trying to get back into routine. I had hoped to have another video for you this week, but that's not going to happen. He's sort of on light duty at work, which includes being a bit easier on the hours this week. So I am doing this on Monday. Well, I guess technically it's Tuesday. It's like 3 in the morning or something. It's 1 or 2 in the morning. Some crazy, bizarre, works for me hour. Everybody else is asleep. And anyway, but he's going to be home mostly this week, and I'm hoping to get this up on Wednesday for you all so I can tell you where I've been briefly. I have been stressing out. That's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. And but hopefully now we can get back into the swing of things. And I can start putting content up for you. I have a new series I want to do. So I went ahead and I had written down all the colors, all the palettes that I had used. As you saw my opener, those were the palettes that I used. However, I've only recently started putting down which palettes I use where. And I don't remember what I did to get this. I don't remember what I did for the wing. And I've got to do the other wing. I know I used the Sickly Sweet, and I know I used white a lot. I don't remember where all those purples and things came from, though. Probably from the Sickly Light. Well, if the other wing looks a little different, it looks a little different. It's not that I didn't think about doing the art. I did. I just didn't have the energy for y'all. I'm sorry. I couldn't film anything. I have a new palette downstairs I've been wanting to get to. Now I don't know if it's even timely. I'll have to look it up. I have a new series I want to start. And yeah, because I want to keep doing this. I have some new tools of my trade. I shouldn't say tools of my trade. I should say I've got some new quote unquote equipment to help with some things. For example, you all should be hearing less background noise right now. Okay, we'll fix it. I just might leave it like that. Anyway, as I was saying, I have a bit more. I have a couple more tools. I'm using one right now, and that's one of those lapel mics, lapel mics that you can plug into your phone. They're wireless, and I tested it on Saturday. There will be a video going up. The usual really short bits that we do for the art in one of the sketchbooks. Because of the way the sketchbook is done, there's only music. You didn't get to hear the testing out of the new mic, but hopefully you'll notice a difference in this one. And if not, hopefully you'll notice a difference in first full non-art video I do. What you doing? She's here, folks. I don't know how much you're going to hear from this mic, but she's here. We've got little paws on the top of the desk. She has her new perch. Yeah, you do. You want to show them your paws? I moved that so you can show them your paws if you want. Yeah. Hi. What are you doing? Say hello. Okay. That wasn't the plan. Ah, no. Come on. Oh, oh, all right. Yeah, her crawling all over it was not the plan. Goofball. As you can imagine, she's trying to get into and onto all the things. Little boober. Get all the things done. I can manage to do the work when the family is asleep. One thing I cannot control is my freaking cat. No! The roll that I keep my brushes in has a string. And of course, it's a string. So she wants to play. She's jealous of y'all. One of the things that I'm trying to learn right now is to let go of, it's going to sound strange. It's going to sound very strange, but let go of purity. And what I mean by that is while I have no problem with using my pens, well, there's two things I mean by that. The first is that while I have no problem with using my pens to create outlines, to mark edges and make details, a lot of times, particularly for my pencil art, not so much for the makeup art, because the makeup is so prone to sloppiness, for lack of a better word. It's not precise. It's very imprecise. The makeup is. So using pencils or pens, my colored pens, to help make my makeup work more precise hasn't bothered me. One of the other tools I'm still working on remembering is this paper, plastic, whatever. This stuff. Anyway, as I was saying, I have no problem working with the pens on the makeup because the makeup is so imprecise. It needs the pens, and to help get it to be more precise. When I was doing my pencil work, I kind of have been wanting to do the entire work in pencil. Problem has been that sometimes that pencil can't do what I need it to do. So, for example, you do a big cat, and I think most of us would do the whiskers last. It makes sense to do the whiskers last. But if your cat is dark colored, putting those whiskers in is much harder, at least from what I've seen or from my experience, because the lighter color won't necessarily go over the darker. Oh, what's going on my African bird feed? It's being noisy over there. I don't know if you guys can hear any of it. It'll be interesting to find out if you can. The whole point of getting the new microphones was so I could reduce all that background noise. The second thing I mean by the purity, trying to keep in mind that I do not no, no, thank you. I got so much going on over here. We got banging in the background. We got this cat being a cat. I don't mind her being a cat. Being a pain in the butt. Cat. Okay, I don't know about the banging in the background, which you may or may not be able to hear at this point. I'll find out when I edit. But I think I got the kitten to go over to a different spot so I can get stuff done over here. And I can finish what I was trying to say before I break and finish doing my working on the video later. Getting time for me to eat something and settle into bed soon. Anyway, so second thing that I was going to mention where I need to get rid of the purity is I do not need to, I'll phrase this. Most of my work right now is done with, inspo photographs. Okay. They're helping me learn. Eventually, I'm hoping to get into more of my own stuff like I did with the Tano. But for right now, I'm doing a lot of inspo work, right? Some of the inspo work I have, in essence, given myself permission, sounds weird to say it that way, but it's true, to add or subtract from the drawing. My witch's hat has some things that are different from my original inspo picture, for example. And I need to give myself more permission to do more of that. More permission to go differently than what's in the picture. Different colors, different, things. I think part of my hesitation comes, she wants to play, she just brought her mouse up here. I think part of my hesitation comes from the fact, what are you doing? Stop. You're doing everything you can to get mama's attention. That's what you're doing. Just admit it. Anyway, comes from the fact that haven't done art in a long time. I mean, I just started up again last year, so I think I've been at it about a year again. And I think the most recent art classes I'd taken, I'm trying to think. Oh, wow. Had to be in junior high. So I haven't done any of the theory classes. I haven't done, I mean, any of that stuff. I did have some summer classes where I took art. Like I said, I think they were all in junior high. And then I pretty much delved into writing. Writing became the thing. And it's interesting. Some of what I learned in writing is the same things that I'm trying to teach myself now, which is you can use someone else's work to learn by. Obviously, you're not going to publish it, but you can learn from other people's work, try to mimic their style, whatever. But eventually, you have to fly, be free. And even when you're trying to mimic their style, most of the assignments I've ever had that were to mimic a writer's style still tried to get me to infuse that mimic with my own style. So it's one of the things I'm trying to learn now is basically to let go of the purity impulse I have. Oh, I see somebody, that inspo piece, this is the colors I need to do, this is the way I need to do that, this needs to look like that. So on and so forth. And while I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a beginner, more like an intermediate beginner, I still have a lot of learning to do. So hopefully I can do that. I can do the learning. One of the big issues with the learning is that, near as I can tell, I haven't run into anybody else who uses makeup in quite the same way I do for art. There is a young woman who I follow on Bluesky, who does use art makeup in her paint pigments sometimes, which I think is pretty cool. But that's still not the same way as I'm using it. So not only am I working on trying to get my art mojo back after years and years and years, I am also learning to work with this whole new medium that nobody else works with. They all work with the standard stuff. Figured I would go ahead and clean up some edges. before I get into more of the bird. This stuff up here is done. So I clean up these edges. Clean up some of the schmaltz. So I did some cleanup on the wing. So we can start working on it, and hopefully it won't be too smudged up while I work on it. Those smudges will darken the colors. We don't want that. I'm hoping I remember all the colors that I did. If not, that's fine. We are learning as we're going along, and we have learned a few things since I actually initially started working on this one. Like how to keep the paper from getting too messed up now, how to clean it up when it's done, how to best keep notes. I had to learn you can't just write down what palette you're using, because the different colors, the different palettes work in different spots. So if everything ends up looking just a little bit different, that's fine. It's all part of learning the process. Ooh, we are learning process. so I think that's where we're going to stop for today. Got the new wing started. I'm going to go and look back over some of my my previous videos of this particular piece and see if I can figure out. But you can see the difference. So on my screen, oh, you're not going to be able to see that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. I don't know what those lines are across it. Okay, so you can't see that too much. Anyway, so I've just begun, but as you can see, the wing looks ghost-like, whereas this looks really full. And then the colors in the actual image are closer to this than this in terms of saturation. But this is what I need to make it show up. So that's what I'm going to be working on soon, again, when we come back and work on her some more. Glad we cleaned up around the flower. Hello, you're late. You're late. You want to play now? Well, guess what? Mama can play. So she puts everything away. All right, so like I said, that's it for today, and we will get back into it again, hopefully next week. I'm pretty much okay with the progress so far. This wing is going to look, I don't know, it's really, if I had moved this all over maybe about that much, I could have made this wing look better, look long like this. But I don't know, it might actually look good when it's finished. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to complain too much. I did a bird. I did my first bird. I'm working on my toucan as my second bird. I have birds. At any rate, I hope you will go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment down below how you think it's going. No kidding. Are you going to come and show them your paws? No? No. She wants to play with paper. No? All right, so we're going to go ahead and go. She's being stubborn and standing on the book. You all have a good one. Bye.